Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCA Extra. This is our live desk streaming show, kicking off right now around 9:15. Coming off the long weekend, jumping right back into things. We had a lot of Memorial Day parades and everything else like that, but I really wanted to hone in on one story here that our Cam Smith did on some new tech at UVM Medical Center. So, Cam, first things first. Thanks for hopping on this morning.
Of course. Good morning.
Great. We ran this morning, and it's a new piece of tech, something you're not really going to find, or maybe not initially think about when you first walk into a hospital. 3D printer. So, kind of tell me what they're making here.
Yeah, so they've got two 3D printers as part of their research in medicine program. And what they're using them for is they're essentially printing and making models. So when you think of maybe a model for a hospital, you think of the big, sort of dummy type model, right? But it's not quite like that. They're making individual pieces, so 3D printed hearts and silicone printed ears, and they even had a mouth, and then a suture pad as well, so that they can give these to nurses, doctors, EMT folks, and then other rural hospitals as training material, so that they can continue to sharpen their
Yeah.
skills at a cheaper cost instead of buying, a whole model off the market every time you need one.
Yeah. No, and that was one thing I really want to touch on too. Is that I think it was like 50 to 70 cents in materials.
Roughly, I
Roughly.
mean, at least in the models that we
Yeah.
were shown, I'm sure they can probably be a little bit more than that, depending
Yeah.
on the size and scale of them. But yeah, anywhere from really 50 to 70 cents.
Yeah.
You think about the hospital setting, anywhere
Adds
that
up. Yeah.
you've got low costs like that for things that folks really need. It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And my last point here too, you spoke to I think it was the emergency medical director. I might be wrong on that one, but
Yeah, research director,
right.
assistant.
And I'm over 2 on that one. But as far as kind of how this first came about, that was partially his idea, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he had told me that he kind of got into 3D printing during
Yeah.
the pandemic. It was sort of a hobby that he had on the side that, a time waster, right? As we were all sort of locked away. Everybody needed something to do, and he found 3D printing, and they had seen that other hospitals in the country were using it for this type of thing, and he was approached and said, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And he sort of spearheaded the program and showed us how it worked through, you develop this
Yeah.
model on the computer, you send it to the printer, and it does its thing. So it's pretty interesting. And I think the big thing, which we'll hear in the story, is they're not using these for just everyday type training. A lot of them are what they call halo procedures. So I have to look here so I don't get it wrong. High acuity, low occurrence procedures. So really stressful situations, things that don't happen very often. So that, when you get to that situation, you know what you need to do, and you're not, panicking, or you haven't done it in a
Right.
year. They have these trainers that they can make, they can print, and they can leave behind.
No, absolutely. It's pretty cool stuff there. We'll take it. We'll see what you're talking about here with the story here with Sid Malls. But Cam, thanks for hopping on this morning. I know yesterday could have been a long day too. So anyway,
Yes, of course.
thanks so much. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, that was our Cam Smith there. Just talking about some new tech at UVM, and how it's helping some people out, helping some training too, and we can take a look at that right now.
It's not a typical sound for a hospital, but for Miles Lamberson, the hum of a 3D printer has become part of his daily work.
So it was a skill that I had developed. I never planned to bring it into the workplace.
As the Assistant Director of Research in Emergency Medicine at UVM Medical Center, Lamberson has been instrumental in bringing 2 3D printers into the fold at the hospital.
A lot of the time what we're doing is creating trainings for what we call high acuity, low occurrence procedures, or HALO. And these are things where they're really stressful, they don't happen very often. It's really important that a provider gets it right the first time.
The 3D printers trace a template loaded in from a computer software, and in a matter of hours,
This is an analog of the neck. You can imagine it like that. And then this is popping in. This is your trachea.
Training models like this one are created. Lamberson says they're cheaper to make, costing anywhere from 50 to 70 cents in materials. Since starting the program more than a year ago, Lamberson has created models of hearts, ears, and even suture pads used by doctors, nurses, and EMTs across the region.
As you can imagine, a lot of EMS services they're not flush with funds for training. It's expensive to buy mannequins. Those are capital expense items often. And so the fact that we can go out and do trainings and leave trainers behind and replenish them is huge.
The lab has created a new model for patients who are unresponsive, where a traditional IV for fluids is not possible.
All right, so should we try this?
Through a model of the femur, Lamberson showed me how the training works to get an IV line into the bone.
Feel the bone? So now applying a moderate amount of pressure, you're going to pull the trigger and just push. Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There you go, that's it. So you kind of felt it give way. Some people describe it kind of as a pop.
Yeah.
It means you're into the lumen, you're into the hole in the middle of the bone.
He says at the end of the day, practicing these skills around the region is vital for providing quality care to patients.
If I'm a patient, I want the folks who are operating on me to have really sharp skills. And having trainers that we're able to make and provide and keep people fresh has a direct impact on that.
In Burlington, Cam Smith, Channel 3 News.
Pretty cool stuff there, huh? Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I think it's definitely helpful. And I think a lot of this, you brought up a good point earlier, everyone pandemic-wise got into these some interesting hobbies, you know what I mean? People took up keyboard lessons and all that, and goes to show, kind of has practical use here too.
Yeah, 3D printers, really cool applications they can be used in.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of I've seen them in more farmers markets now. People they'll go buy the design, and then it was what did I see? It was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's head with tentacles, and it was the Rocktopus. So that was the interesting one.
That's
not
another
quite,
application,
right,
I guess.
Not quite the same as a hospital application.
Yeah.
So, but kind of looking outside now, we have a nice day ahead of us.
Yeah.
But it will kind of change things up throughout the week, and I feel like, you know what, Peter, we're kind of more into a regular pattern. Am I right in saying that? We're going to go up and down a little bit. It's okay.
I mean, we're going to go up and down for sure, but I mean, if only we could just, kind of keep the upswing of things into the weekend. That's been the problem as of late.
I don't know. Look, don't act like we're not a little bit spoiled. I still got to go out yesterday.
But I think everybody's truly sick of it at this point. It's if you could have Monday and Tuesday be your weekend, then boy, oh boy, it would be really nice. But not so much here as we head into the weekend. For now, though, let's soak it all up. We got blue skies. We got sunshine out there. That's the view on satellite and radar right now. Look across the region, Burlington, Rutland, Middlebury, Linden, all looking quite nice and sunny out there. Temperatures climbing back into the 50s and 60s at this point. These are going to make it back into the 70s and even lower 80s here as we head towards this afternoon. Here's how the day shapes up on Futurecast. Very little to talk about through the day today. Blue skies, sunshine. There could be the chance at a pop-up shower or two here, especially in some of those higher terrain spots through the afternoon and evening hours. But really, again, most of us are primarily dry here through the bulk of the day today, talking a good deal of sunshine. I think maybe a few more clouds filtering that sunshine just a bit here into your day tomorrow. Probably the bare chance of maybe a few rain showers into tomorrow afternoon. But notice the rain chances ticking up here as we head into the Thursday, a bit drier Friday. Then, yes, you guessed it, more rain here into the first half of the weekend. Here's how it shapes up. Again, you can see some rain showers into the day Thursday. Those making their departure here as we head into the day Friday. Friday looking a lot drier, but still can't rule out a passing rain shower. Coastal system makes its arrival here as we head into the first half of the weekend, and it does look like it brings steadier rain here into the first half of the weekend as well. Here's how it plays out. Again, Thursday, maybe upwards of 1/4 of an inch of new rain. Lesser totals for Friday, so we find more dry time Friday. Then those rain totals really spike here as we head into the first half of the weekend. don't want to nail down these rain totals quite yet, but just want to give you the idea. It's Thursday and then definitely Saturday that are the wet days of the week. Drier for Friday, drier here for the day on Sunday. Temperature-wise, we're also falling temperature-wise here as we head into the weekend. Gone are the 80s, back into the 60s. The one silver lining I will say is it is at least not the 40s and 50s that we were talking about just this past weekend and really through the vast majority of last week. Today, temperatures mid to upper 70s, lower 80s, plenty of sunshine overhead. Stray shower here and there possible, but most of us stay dry and sunny. Tonight, overnight lows, they'll fall back into the 40s and 50s, mainly clear skies overhead. We head into your day tomorrow. Most of us are hanging out again in the mid to upper 70s and lower 80s here tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, maybe a few more clouds filtering that sunshine just a bit. Again, a stray shower possible here and there through the afternoon hours for your day on Wednesday. Now look at that 7-day forecast. Rain showers arriving Thursday, a bit drier again for Friday, but a passing rain shower here and there can't be ruled out. Saturday does look like it's rather wet. Once again, the good news is June 1st, Sunday, looking drier, maybe a stray passing rain shower into the day Monday, but again, does look like it. We will make it 24 weekends in a row now.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
it's just craziness at this point.
You know what I will say, Peter, though? June really, got to us pretty quick here. And, just think, in just a couple weeks, we'll be begging for it back. It's going to be, I guarantee it. I guarantee, and again, come the end of June, we're going to have a string of hot weeks.
Yep.
And we're going to, I wish it was raining out. I wish it was overcast, So
I don't know about the rain, but maybe overcast and cooler temps.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, thank you, Peter. That's Russ for here on WCAX Extra, of course. You can see us right back here at the noon, all of our evening shows, and then on WCX.com. But until then, get outside and enjoy it.